All right, I'm going to work through dividing polynomials with remainders, binomial divisors. So we're still working on binomial divisors, okay? But I'm going to show you what happens if you can't do synthetic division, then you have to do long division. And long division is not fake division, it's the real division. It just takes longer. Okay, so I'm over here and I have a of x. So example, we're going to say a of x is 6x cubed minus x squared plus 5x plus 1. And b of x, just put a little semicolon in between them, equals 3x plus 1. Okay, now grab your other color and let's make a note. So this is not, it is a binomial. So that's good because we know with a binomial you can do synthetic division. But this is not a plain x. So see right here? That means you cannot do synthetic division. Okay, you have to do long division. All right, so we're going to set it up, and I'm going to skip a couple of, I'm going to need a line up here for my quotient. So I'm just going to skip a couple of spaces. I'm going to put 3x plus 1, and then I'm going to do the long division symbol, and then I'm going to write these out just like I always do, but I'm going to write the whole thing, not just the coefficients. 6x cubed minus, I'm going to write the 1 in front of it just because I think that helps us, 1x squared plus 5x plus 1. Now let's check that everybody's there. So we've got 3, 2, 1, constant. So just like we did with synthetic division. All right. Now you have to do the first one into the first one. Okay? So first we're going to say first into first, and that's all you ever have to concentrate on. So we're going to grab our other color, and we're going to underline this first one and this first one. All right, and then over here on the side, we're going to just write them. So it's like 6x cubed divided by 3x. And see, this is like the monomial division that we practiced before. Now, if you have a hard time with remembering how to do these, then I highly recommend you write them over on the side and do it out. It's okay. You can show your scratch work. Okay, so 6 divided by 3 is 2, and x cubed over an x, remember what you do? You subtract those, so that's x squared. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my pencil and I'm going to write 2x squared right here. Now, a lot of people, when they teach it, they say to put the 2x squared here to line it up. I like to just write it over the thing I did the division for. Okay, now go back to your other color. Okay, so and then I'm going to grab my other color. Okay, good, I already did. Sorry, I had to pause it for a second. Okay, and I'm going to multiply this by this one and by this one. Okay, so then now grab your pencil and do it. So 2 times 3 is 6, and then x squared times x, I'm going to put a little 1 here, that's x to the third because you add the exponents. And then 2 times 1 is 2, and then there are no x's, so just x squared. Okay, now you put parentheses around all of these and you subtract. So 6 minus 6 is 0, so those are going to cancel. I'm just not draw anything. And then negative 1, and it's okay to use your calculator. Negative, okay. Here we go. Make sure it's still recording. Okay, good. Negative 1, and then minus pi positive. So minus 2, because it was just minus positive 2. So we hit enter, and we get negative 3 x squared. Now bring down and bring down. Just bring down anything left over. This is just like you do for long division for anything. Okay? All right, so the way you do long division for any numbers is like 2. Let's do a little one over here on the side. Just, you know, just to remind us, and just kind of put it in a little bubble so you can see what we're doing. 2 into like 17. We go 2 into 1, and that didn't work. So 2 into 17, right? And you go, that's 8 times. 8 times 2 is 16. Then, see, it's positive 16, and then we subtract. We just don't usually write those parentheses, but because we have 2 terms here, we write those parentheses. So then 17 minus 16 is 1. See? That's all we're doing. And then if there was something else here, like let's say this was 175, then we would bring down the 5, and we would start all over again. 2 into 15. See? Put it there, multiply, subtract. Okay, so back to what we were doing. We subtracted. Now we do the first one into the first one again. So this one now, I'm going to write it over here. So that's negative 3x squared divided by 3x. That is negative 1, and then x squared divided by x, you subtract them, so you just get an x. All right, so then now we're going to put minus 1x. And then remember, we multiply, so we go here and here. Okay, so negative 3x squared, see? And then negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And then x. And if it didn't come out to be an x, I would put it under here. Like whatever it matches is the one you line it up under. All right. Now don't forget to change the sign. So subtract those numbers. Okay. So now negative 3 minus negative 3. See? Boom. They cancel. 5 minus negative. That's the same as plus. But if you're not sure, 5 minus negative 1. See? 6. So we get 6x plus 1. All right. One more to go, and then we're done because this is an x and this is an x. So that's as big as it can go, just like in monomial division. So 6x divided by 3x. Well, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then x over x, remember how they just cancel? You don't even write 0 or x0 or anything. You just don't write it. So I just get 2. So now I'm going to put plus 2, and now I'm going to multiply, and I'm not going to write the multiplication thingies because it's going to get messy. But 2 times 3 is 6. And then there was no x here and an x here, so x. And then 2 times 1 is 2. Positive 2. And I'm going to put subtraction, parentheses. And now 6 minus 6 is 0. 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2. And you get negative 1. Okay, now x can't go into that, so that's your remainder. So my q of x is 2x squared minus, and remember we don't write the 1 for con, so if I was going to write this down, I would just write q of x, and we probably should just in your notes. Excuse me. 2x squared minus x plus 2, and r of x is just this little guy down here, negative 1. Minus x plus 2 and then negative 1. Okay, now with this next question, see how that's a plain x? So that's actually going to be synthetic division, all right? So let's write that one. Let's see how long we're going on this video. All right, so with this next one, it says a of x is x squared minus 7x plus 15, and b of x is x minus 2. All right, well, that's a plain x, so let's grab our other color and go, okay, well, first of all, it's a binomial, and it's a plain x, which means synthetic division. All right, so we know faster way than long division for this one. You can certainly do long division, but there's no reason to when synthetic division is faster. So remember, we put the little half box here, and we put the opposite of that here, a 2. And then now I want to put a 1 in front of this so I don't forget it. So 1, because I'm going to write my little thingies, x squared, x constant. So 1, negative 7, 15. All right, add straight down, multiply and put it there. Add straight down, negative 5, and you use your calculator. Multiply, put it there. And I'm going through this kind of fast because you should have already mastered this and we've quizzed on it and everything. So, all right, and then so that is my quotient is just, since this was an x squared, this is going to be an x. So, and remember, we don't write the 1, so we just write x minus 5. And then r of x is just 5. Okay, again, synthetic division, so I'm just going to put in nonsense for this one because I don't want to do another one of those since we know how to do it. There's one. Make sure that looks different. Okay, good. So let's do one more of long division. A of x equals 6x squared minus 17x plus 10. B of x equals 3x minus 4. Okay, so grab my other color and I go, all right, well, this is binomial, okay, but it's not a plain x. So that means that we cannot do synthetic division. We have to do long division. Alrighty, so 3x minus 4 goes here. Thank you. You're not going to see them, right? Okay, you know where tomorrow for school? All right, love you. I know. All right, so this is 3x minus 4, and this is 6x squared minus 17x plus 10. All right, here we go. So first we do first divided by first. So 6x squared over 3x, and we get 6 divided by 3 is 2. X squared divided by x is x, because remember, you just subtract. So I get a 2x. Now multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. And again, you can pull up your calculator. And then x. Don't forget your subtraction symbol and your parentheses. 6 minus 6 is 0. Negative 17 minus negative 8. Well, that's going to be plus 8. So negative 17 plus 8. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I get negative 9x. Again, you can use your calculator. Totally fine. Negative 17 plus 8 will come out to be negative 9. Then you bring down plus 10. Now we look and say, are we done yet? Well, x can go into x, so I'm not done. So negative 9x over 3x equals negative 3, because remember those cancel. So I'm just going to write a negative 3 up here, and now multiply. 3 times 3 is negative 9, and then this doesn't have an x, but this does, so an x. Remember, these should always match, because then when you subtract, they're going to be opposites, and remember, if they're opposites but equal, they cancel. And then negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. Now I subtract. So negative minus negative is plus, so that makes 0, so that's good. And then 10 minus positive 12 is 10 minus 12, which would give me negative 2. All right, now this has an x and this does not, so this is now smaller than this one, so you can't do anything further. So q of x equals 2x minus 3, and r of x equals negative 2. And that is the end of our long division lesson. We will do more together in class. But if you feel like you already know how to do it, you are certainly welcome to go ahead and complete the con. I'm going to assign it, but it's not going to be due yet. Okay? Alrighty. So that is the end of long division.